Hello, everyone. It's your sister witch, your high priestess Kathie. I know no one's in yet, but I'm going to wait till some of my people come in here. I did not plan this video, so this is basically what Spirit wanted me to share with you all. Some of you may have heard of this before, some of you may have not. But as you can take a look at the title, some ancestor spirits are not for you. Some ancestor spirits are not going to help you when you call upon them. There's plenty of reasons why, and we'll talk about it. I'm just going to wait till some more of my spiritual family get in here. And you guys let me know if you can hear me okay. And I'm just going to say hello in the comment section. And I think I'm going to play a little music before I get started. I've been having some issues with my internet connection. So if it goes out, you guys, I'm going to come right back on. I'm getting that taken care of. So by next week, I won't be having any issues with my internet going in and out. So yes, I hope you all are doing well. Yes, some ancestor spirits won't help you. And with that, you all, I am also dealing with the passing of my father. I'm still mourning. I have connected with some of my family, which is a good thing. And I have had to talk with the funeral home today and make arrangements for my father's remains and everything for them to, pick up his remains and everything so we can have a service for him and everything like that. And it's definitely been a challenge. So let me see here. Trying to find this music here. Yeah. Yes, some ancestors are not for you. A lot of reasons why. It could be because of your ethnicity. It could be because they didn't have any attachment to you while you were born. It could be that they hated your parent. So many things. Could be that you look like the other parent and they can't stand you. All sorts of things. Welcome, everyone. So I hope you enjoyed that music. And I just wanted to let you guys know that I do a lot of work with people who are dealing with ancestor curses and ancestor spirits who will not leave them alone. They taunt them, they haunt them basically pretty much. And most of the times, if you don't do right by your ancestors, if you don't respect your ancestors, especially the ones that are here for you, that's supposed to be guiding you and things like that, if you don't respect them, they'll feel a certain type of way about you too. And they'll take things out on you to try to get your attention or to try to teach you a lesson about something. Now, I know that there's universal laws, and there are laws that we follow as human beings on this earth, and there's also laws that spirits follow, or people that have crossed over, our ancestors that are on the other side, or they're still with us, however you want to say it, okay? Those that are meant to be our guardians and to protect us, they have certain things that they are responsible for too. And if they don't do their part in what they're supposed to do to help us, and we're not helping them, then it's kind of like it can get very, very toxic. Okay. And some people's ancestors can get to where they resent you, they resent your life because they are bound on that other side to try to help you so that they can go to the next level in the spiritual realm. Okay, so just like they may have like on these Hollywood movies or whatever, the angel gets his wings and they'll be able to live in peace or whatever. There is truth to this. There's truth to this. So our ancestors, when we think of the term ancestors, we think of our loved ones that we didn't know or that we did know, that cared about us, they looked out for us. We think about the good side of having relationships with our ancestors. But for those people who are going through curses and a lot of bad stuff that they can't really explain, and that they've tried to do everything in their power to get their life back on track, but they can't seem to catch a break. 9 times out of 10, it isn't anything that they're doing wrong. It's because they're cursed or their ancestors are cursing them. If you are constantly cursing at your ancestors, even if you're cursing at a deity or a spirit god, that's not good because it's like you're cursing yourself. People don't understand that when you curse your ancestors and you curse certain spirits and deities, you are actually cursing yourself. And that's how some people, they get blocked up, they get tied up, and they don't know what to do to get out of it. One of the things that we have to understand is that we need to hold ourselves accountable also for the things that we do and the things that we say. Two wrongs don't make it right. Two wrongs don't make it right in the real world, this human existence that we have, and two wrongs don't make a right in the spiritual world. Okay? So, with that, and in your growth and your research and you're studying spirituality, that's one of the things that we have to understand is that we have to hold ourselves accountable. When we are dealing with these ancestor spirits who have a problem with us or that have cursed us, or we're dealing with some of the stuff that they did, generational curses. Like, sometimes people get cursed because of what their ancestors did. It didn't have anything to do with them. So they're like caught up in the middle of this thing. They don't understand it. Medicine isn't going to work. And why medicine isn't going to work? Because it's a spiritual matter. And as I was saying before in a previous video, there is a thing called psychosis, okay? And psychosis comes on as a mental illness that results from extensive alcohol abuse and extensive drug abuse. So you can hear voices and things like that and see things and it not be a spiritual experience. It could be something that's going on with your nerves, okay? However, I'm diving more deep into the ancestor realm and us talking about spirituality. And you have to remember that these people had an existence on this planet. Our ancestors, they had existed on this planet. They had a life, they had experiences, they had their ways that they felt about certain things. And so those memories, all of that is still with that spirit on the other side. That's the reason why many of our ancestors, they're here to help guide us and help us. And even though we may not have even met them, they may have passed away before we were born. Okay? However, their mission is to help guide us. Now, for the ancestors that's not there for us, their whole existence is one or two things: to be left alone or to create your life into a living hell, which they will do that. They will do that, especially if it's something that they're supposed to be doing to help you in your life and you're not acknowledging them, you're not respecting them, they're going to turn against you. And this has happened so many times to so many people that I've met in my life. And that's why you even hear some people say, oh my gosh, I forgot to do this with my altar. I forgot. This is what happens when you don't feed them. This is what happens, because they know that there's certain ancestors that they're dealing with. They're not going to play those games. They're not going to play around. So we have to truly, truly watch and be careful. Hey, Champagne C, how are you, love? Welcome, welcome. We need to be aware. And that's the reason why when you call upon your ancestors, you need to make sure that you call upon the ones who are there for you and not the ones that are there to hurt you or that's against you, or the ones that you're not supposed to be calling upon. You got to be careful. Now, for those of you that are listening to me, and for those of you who've been on my Facebook, you guys know that I'm dealing with the loss of my father. He passed away, and like I said, I know he wanted to be with my mother on Mother's Day. Okay. And I'm at peace with his passing. Me and my daddy, we were fine before he left this world. However, me and my father, we had some things that was going on. So I know if I was trying to do some type of work, or if I needed something, there's certain things I wouldn't be able to call upon him for, because he did not present himself that way into my life. That's why when they tell you when you need to make an altar, nice to meet you. I'm so glad you're here. I appreciate you, Champagne. You up here. You are beautiful. Yes, yes, yes. Champagne C says, oh no, sorry for your loss. It is still hard without them here present. Uh-huh. But energy is always around. Exactly, 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 exactly. So, yes, so when you are calling upon certain ancestors, you need to make sure that you call upon the ones that are there for you, and the ones that could possibly hurt you. You need to make sure you speak that out. I'm only calling upon my ancestors, those that are for me, to help me. Because some ancestors, like I said, they won't help you. They have no interest in you. And some of them, they may not even like you, because maybe they felt a certain way about a certain group of people when they were here in this present world. So you can't simply assume that a certain ancestor is just going to embrace you wholeheartedly when you possibly look like someone that they didn't like, or maybe a group of people that they didn't like. And that's why you find a lot of people in the spiritual community, they have issues with certain spirits, and having a hard time getting away from them, or certain spirits will create havoc and things in their life, just like ancestors would, because it's a possibility that you do not look like anyone that they're really connected to. And it could be that that type of spirit that lived upon in this world, or that ancestor that lived in this world, was just not a good person. And you calling upon that certain spirit or that certain ancestor, especially if they were a thief, you're calling upon that ancestor to help you. You might find your money being crossed up. You might find that your money is missing, but you're calling upon this ancestor to help you? No, you have to be careful, because there's so many spirits and entities and beings and so many dimensions anyway. They want to come into our life and be a part of it, good or bad, good or bad. And so we have to use our discernment. We need to listen to our intuition, which is our ancestors, you guys, right? So we don't get ourselves into some situations that we can't get out of. Hello, Fletch. Afro Witch, how are you? Merry Meet. Good to see you again. I see you changed your name. Merry Meet. Yes, yes. See, Champagne C knows. Yes, I always call on my spirits for my highest good. Yes. Yeah. So the ones that try to come into your life and they don't mean you any good or whatever, they can't come in because you didn't call them. But if you're just calling anybody to come in and help you, it can mess you up. It really can. And I've seen it firsthand throughout the years. And as the title said, some ancestors are not for you. They're not. Usually my grandmother. Yes, yes. Now, if you had a loving relationship with your grandmother, or and maybe her people were good, loving people and everything like that, then that's fine. They're gonna recognize that. They're gonna recognize you. They're gonna come in and help you. But the other ones, they can't come in unless you invite them. And if you have an issue where you feel like they're trying to sneak in, or you find yourself being harassed and haunted or whatever by these ancestors, then you need to get rid of them. It can be done because there's universal laws, but at the same time, you have to do your part. You have to do your part too to get them to leave you alone, whether it's not they want an offering, they need to be banished or whatever, away from your life or whatever. It has to be broken. It has to be. It can be an ongoing war. People don't understand how ancestor curses can be. It can be an ongoing war in your life. Never have any peace. Nothing ever going good for you. Why? Because you have bad energy, or you have a curse, whether it's something maybe you brought up on, a generational curse, but these ancestors won't leave you alone until they get what they want. Yeah, it's scary. It's scary. It's scary. Yes, that's why you have to be careful with what you do. And once you open that door, there's no going back. You just have to deal with it accordingly. You can try to forget about it. You can do whatever you want. But what people that come to me, what they find is that their lives are living hell. They're crossed up. Everything's not working out for them. And so they have to come to people like me. They have to come to practitioners to try to be a medium between them and the spirits. And a lot of time, these spirits, they they don't really particularly care for people like me. Okay, because they know that one or two things are going to happen. They either know that they're going to be pretty much banished and sent on their way. Like I said before, we have universal rights here in this world. Okay, or or they're going to just have to give in. They're just going to have to give in, truly give up the ghost. And of course, they don't want to be banished from that person's life because they know they would have failed on the other side. So what's going to happen? Because they have their job too. What's going to happen? 9 times out of 10, they're going to have to come right back to this sucker and do it all over again. And many do not want that. They want to ascend. They want to keep going up higher. They don't want to have to come back and redo this thing on earth. I don't want to come back and redo this thing on earth. Okay? I want to be able to ascend when I get ready to go. Okay? I want to be able to do my part, help my people, help my descendants, my people, and then go to the next level. That's why people here on earth that know about this, they even speak it into existence. I don't want to come back here and do this all over again because it's so much in their DNA. This is stuck in their DNA. This is stuck in their the head region. Okay, it's stuck there. And they know it. So these ancestors will get really, really mad at this person and just say pretty much, they're cursing me. They're making me have to do this all over again. So I'm cursed. They're cursed too. They're going to have hell too. And when you are working with someone like me, you have to follow the directions, whether or not you like it or not. You just have to. Yeah, you just have to. Because if you don't, it's going to be the same thing. Yes. Yes. People be getting into things they don't know what they are doing, opening portals and all. Be mindful. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Years ago, I said here on this internet, YouTube, the internet is an open portal. It's not exactly the same dimension as, like the spirit world, but the spirit world, spirits are able to tap into this too, this portal. It's an open portal. When you drink alcohol, your body, the vessel, it becomes an open portal. When you do anything, when you smoke, drugs, anything, you become an open portal for other entities or spirits to enter you to do as they please. If they're strong enough, you're going to forget what you did. Like I said, that's why so many people, they go around, you hear it on TV, they they've killed all these people, they've done all this stuff. They wake up the next morning, they have no recollection of anything they did because they were not themselves. They were not themselves when they did that. It was another spirit, another entity, whatever it was, took total control. And for those of you who are spiritual watching me, I know you've seen people here on the internet when they're so drunk out of their mind and stuff like that. You can look at their face and say, wow, what in the world? They straight up look demonic, or they look like you can even hear a different spirit or somebody that's not them talking and all this. You know what I'm saying? It's because it's that thing. That thing. That thing is so happy to be in your vessel, to get a chance, that spirit or that ancestor spirit that's creating havoc in your life can't wait till you get drunk, can't wait till you get high out of your mind so they can jump in there and do what they do. And then you even hear some people say, oh my gosh, I like you when you're drunk, you're so much fun, you're crazy. Yeah. And then you hear some people say, oh my gosh, you're totally different when you're not drinking. Like, who are you? Who are you? It's because you were not you at that time. It was probably that ancestor that was the thief, that was, the rapist or whatever, or whatever. That was the murderer, that was the killer, that was the smart mouth one, the one that liked to fight, the drunken sailor, waiting for that opportune time to come around you. And if you're dealing with ancestors like that and you are going under that curse, then yeah, they're waiting for the proper time. Proper time. They're waiting on the proper time to jump in and create havoc, chaos, and confusion. Let's see what you guys said. Champagne says, girl, I've known people that start talking to themselves and all never did before until they started drugs. They took over. Exactly. And that's why, meth and stuff like that, that's a form of sorcery. You're mixing all of that stuff and all that, and you're taking it, that's sorcery. So you open up yourself to other spirits that are around you. Straight up. Wine and spirits. That's why they call it wine and spirits. I know I'm repeating myself, but there's a method to my madness. Champagne C said, girl, is there a poor ancestor? Because I be yes. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Thieves, if you had a thief that was your ancestor, a gangster, that was your ancestor, You got to be careful who you call on. You can call up on those spirits for certain things, but you got to make sure you know what you're doing, because you could be calling on the one that don't care about you. I have people in my family who, were gang members that passed away. I know I can call on them if things get downright and dirty, and I know they're not going to hurt me because I knew them and my family knew what type of people they were. But if you're just calling up on someone or something out of the blue, an ancestor, and you really don't know, oh yeah, you better watch out. Anna Lee, QB, welcome, love. She says, I saw this. Let's see this. I did this for a whole year in West Africa, watching my husband turn completely demonic, being drunk all the time. Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh yeah, they can't wait. Hey, Flame. Greetings. Welcome. Thank you so much for stopping in. And you guys, make sure to check my description box as well, because a lot of people, they want to get in touch with me, for spirit readings and stuff like that. And like I said, I've been doing this for many years before YouTube. And And then most of the time, I'm able to see them. I describe people that I see, and people tell me, yep, that's that person. So I just tell people what I see. And I've been this way my whole life. Sometimes the spirit will reveal themselves to me, who they are exactly. Sometimes I'll get a name, sometimes I don't. It just depends on what they reveal to me. When I tell people, come to me as an open person, come to me. Come to me with a true heart that you need help. Don't come to me trying to play trick the psychic, because that's not going to do anything but waste both of our times, because not only are my spirits going to get ticked off, but yours probably get ticked off too, and it's just a waste of money. So I tell people that come to me that really, really, really need my help, you know. And I can tell, you know. Oh, that's true. We might have ancestors that were into black magic. That is another thing. Yeah, most of them were. Most of them were. But a lot of them used it for protection. And that's the reason why I used it. And I use it for protection and to protect my clients. Now, talking about my father, with my father passing away, even though my father was protective of me, I know I could call upon him if I need to for protection and things like that, because that's the type of person he was. But when it comes to money or something like that, that's not what I'm going to be calling my daddy for, because he was a tightwad, okay? But that's what I'm talking about. Like little things like that, you know. If you had an ancestor who just had like horrible relationships and all that, you don't want to call upon them to assist you with a love spell. For those of you who work with the ancestors, especially just the ancestors only, it's just, you have to be mindful of things like that. Yes, Flame, you want to ask a question? Yes, Flame. So what's the right way to work with our ancestors? Yeah, as I was saying earlier, when there's all different type of ways that you can, you want to make sure that you are venerating them. If you have an altar, you want to make sure you're giving them, fresh water and, food from time to time, things that they like, keeping the altar clean, paying attention to those things, and like burning ancestor money too. I know that they like that, and that's the best way. And like when you call upon them, like I said, you just want to make sure you call upon the ones that are there for you, and no one, no ancestors that would be against you. And you can word that the way that you want to, because it's you and your altar. And if you don't have an altar, if you're, praying to your ancestors or whatnot, just beginning and stuff like that, then, you want to speak those things out, because like I said, there's power in the words that we speak. Even in the Bible, it talks about life and death, it's in the tongue. There's a scripture. I'm not really sure what that is, but I know that there's life and death. There's power in the tongue, power in our words. So when you go before your altar and you're saying things like that, they listen. And a lot of my readings that I do here, my spirit readings, like I'm here in my altar room now. So when I'm talking with my clients and stuff, they, they're listening to what's going on. And that's the reason why I'm able to see visions. I'm able to see, maybe like what people look like. I'm able to see where they are, if they're alone or not. And when they'll talk, when you'll hear from, Spirit will show me a lot of that stuff. And Spirit will also show me the reason why, some spells won't work, some spiritual work won't work. And Spirit will show me the reason why. Well, the reason why it didn't work is because this person had all of this other work done with these other people. So there's all of these spirits attached to this one job. And you would think that because you have all of these practitioners working on that one thing, that it's going to be a done deal. No, no, because a lot of those spirits have issues with each other. A lot of them, they can't be in the same room with each other. A lot of them cannot be on the same altar with each other. So you have to be mindful of that. You know, I don't think it's a good idea to mix Santa Muerte with Oshun. I wouldn't ever recommend that. That's not a good mix. I'm sure there might be some people that do it, but ask them, how is their life? How is their life? If your ancestors were diehard Christians, you cannot put that type of stuff on the altar to them. You can't put 666 and devil worship stuff on the altar, because they come around that and look at that, they're going to have an issue with you. Why are you putting this on our altar? And you're going to feel it, and you're going to know it's wrong. You won't, there's nothing to be afraid about. You're just going to know in your spirit, and it's going to bug you. And it's going to bug you until you get it together, till you take it off. That's how they will do you. And they will bug you. They will tell you, you need to do this. You need to make this message. Just like me making this video right now. Even though I had other stuff to do today and I had business to take care of, and I'm making funeral arrangements for my daddy, all I could think about was doing this video, because Spirit knows, I know this is going to help somebody. This is going to bring somebody to me that I'm supposed to be helping. This is an open portal. All of us, we meet. We are not meeting just by chance for no reason. Champagne C says, girl, I have a question. Say, for example, someone was murdered. Are they a vengeful spirit? Possibly. Possibly. It could go either way. Sometimes they could end up being a vengeful spirit because of how they died. Maybe it was just who killed them. They had a vendetta out, so they can't rest. Some people murdered, it's so brutal and horrible that they don't have a vengeful spirit. They just crossed over, and that's it. They don't want to come back and walk this earth. They don't want to come back here. Now, some spirits, like I said, they have to come back, and some want to come back. Some don't want to go into the light. They don't want to. They don't want to face that. Champagne C says, "Girl, right? I don't work with Santa Muerte. Just my belief. Nope." But I definitely hope that this helped you guys. I know I've been on here for almost an hour, so if you guys have any more questions before I go, if you guys want to send a donation in, that's appreciated as well. It doesn't matter the amount, but the love. Hey, Tasha, how are you? Yes, Shabisi, yes, girl. Thanks for doing this live. You are very welcome. Fletcher says, I have altars in my closet, one from my ancestors with white cloth water and their photos. The other two altars are for my netter, Bassett, and set other for Lilith and Lucifer. I try to keep it separate. Good for you. Good for you. Yes, yes. That's the best thing to do. Tasha says, my father passed on Thanksgiving this year. I understand what you're going through. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, it kind of shocked me at first, And of course, I'm like, wow, I was not expecting it that day at all. But I knew something was going on in the air because there was so much stuff going on. And I was like, what is going on today? Because me and a friend of mine, or Big O, we were talking about it. And then my cousin had called me and told me that the church had tried to contact us because, my father passed away. And I said, okay, well, it was Mother's Day. And I said, I guess, my father wanted to be with my mother on Mother's Day for one last fight. Oh, but like I said before too, my father, even though my parents had got divorced, they got back together again. It was one of those relationships, and my mother was so kind to my father, and even when he had married again and he had got divorced from another woman, my mom still took him in and cared for him and stuff when he got sick and all that. So it was just one of those things, and of course they were, you know uh bonded together, or bound together rather, because of us kids, and everything. But um yeah, yeah. So, he lived to be a good age, and he died of natural causes. He was up there in age, and he had a good life. He had a good life. He had a good life, you know, and he didn't die alone, so that was good. And I'm making arrangements to try to go back to the service when they have the service and stuff coming up. So, it's one of those things. So, both of my parents are crossed over. I still have the relationship with my mom in spirit. She watches over me. I have dreams about her all the time, still, her and my grandmother. And so, now my daddy, I'm making a place for him to over there. And as soon as I get the obituaries and stuff all taken care of, well, my family's helping me. His side of the family's helping me, luckily. So I'm not just alone in this, and I appreciate them for that. And I appreciate everybody for their condolences as well on Facebook. I love you all, spiritual family. I really, really do. I thank you. I thank you all. But yes, yes, yes. Yes, both of your parents are deceased too. Yes, yes. Yeah, it takes one day. It takes one day at a time. Uh, it didn't hit me till later on, and I had to slow down a little bit and just kind of mourn his loss. Or rest in power to his memory. And never was a dull moment around my daddy. That's where I get my wild and crazy side from. So, like I said, you guys, my daddy, he always had, girlfriends and stuff like that. And, you know, basically a witch doctor. Okay, so he lived a good life. He lived a good life. But yes, but I appreciate you all, spiritual family, for coming in and to keep my father's memory alive and everything like that. I know he want me to keep going. And I have one of my I have some sessions set up tomorrow, so I'll be back on. I took a couple of days off. So for those of you who had, booked your session with me, I'll be reaching out to y'all if I haven't already. And I'm going to be back on tomorrow. And I appreciate all of you all. Just remember that some of our ancestors are not for us, okay? And I want you guys to be safe out there because I don't want you guys to get crossed up or cursed. And as always, if you have any questions about that or if you need to speak with me about that, make sure you check the description box below. You guys make sure you subscribe. Share this video if you feel it might help someone. I appreciate all of you, spiritual family. And you guys take care, okay? Thank you, Fletcher. Thank you, Tasha. Thank you, Champagne. Anybody else's name I forgot? Please pardon me. Take care, you guys. I love you all, spiritual family. Bye.